Parents of Runaways, what was it like to reunite with your child after so many years? I have a son from my previous marriage. I became pregnant at the young age of 20 with my high school sweetheart. We got married at the age of 22, after we graduated from college. David was wealthy, he didn't want me to work, so I was a housewife. My son, Jacob, was the apple of my eye. I gave everything to him, he was my world. We were very close and I never doubted that I would not be alone in this world as long as I had him. However, this belief was shattered 10 years ago when I discovered that my husband was having an affair with a young colleague. To make matters worse, my 15-year-old son knew about it and hid the affair from me. The sense of betrayal I felt was immense. I was hurt by the two people I cared most for in this world. When confronted, Jacob responded, "Dad told me not to tell you." David had bought him gifts to keep his secret, and having a young stepmom made Jacob popular among his peers. I felt utterly blindsided when I learned that my husband had taken our son to meet his mistress under the pretext of a ski trip. When it came to the divorce settlement, my son chose my ex over me. This left me heartbroken. My son didn't even want to visit me once everything was settled. I tried to reach out to him once he turned 18, but he refused. At that point, I gave up and moved on with my life. Over the years, I found myself wondering how he was doing, but I did eventually move on. I met a single father of 2 girls, we married, and I soon became pregnant again. The pregnancy was tough. I wanted to tell my son that he was going to be a brother to a baby girl. The labor was excruciating, I almost died on the spot after giving birth to my daughter. Despite everything, I still wanted to meet my son, but understanding that he didn't want to see me, I gave up on the idea. As the years went by, my memories of him faded as I immersed myself in my new family. But a week ago, I received a series of messages from him on Facebook. He said that he missed me a lot and wanted to meet up with me. His sudden contact took me by surprise. He hadn't reached out to me in the last 10 years and now he wanted to see me. Why? I mulled over every possible reason, but what troubled me most was that I did not feel excited about it. As a mother, I felt I should be thrilled, but I wasn't. My parents and husband noticed this. They urged me to meet him, insisting that I needed closure as he was still my son. But I wasn't sure if I wanted to relive that trauma. A few months later, I decided to meet my son after all these years. He was no longer a boy, but a man. He seemed much bigger than I remembered. Perhaps he was there to tell me about his life or reconcile. Or perhaps he wanted something from me. Regardless, I decided to stay guarded. I arranged to meet him in a public park and asked my husband to be nearby. My son arrived 5 minutes after I did. He was all grown up. I had to fight back tears. He greeted me and I responded with a smile. I remarked on how he had grown up and how good he looked. He just nodded. We sat in silence until I finally asked what he'd been up to. He told me he was doing fine, that he'd finished college and was planning to apply for grad school. I said that was great, and then there was an awkward silence. He broke it by saying, "You must be wondering why I contacted you." I responded, "For 10 years, you haven't tried to contact me. Why now? I can't help but wonder why you're trying to contact me when you told me years ago that you didn't want me near you because I embarrassed you." His face turned serious.